Hi, I'm James with JNC Home Repair. Today I'm going to show you how to outfit a basic electrician's toolbox. These are some of the tools you're going to need. Basically you're going to need a meter. You're going to be able to test for any kind of hot wires, any kind of live voltage that you have. This is basically a good thing to have. You're going to always want to test your wires before you start cutting on them or start trying to remove them from a plug or a switch or anything else that you're doing. You always want to make sure that there's no voltage going to it so you don't get shocked. Another thing you're going to need is a pair of wire strippers. Okay, you're going to be able to strip wire with these, and you're actually also going to be able to cut wire with them. This is a necessity as far as doing any kind of electrical work. This is a pair of diagonal side cutters. Some people call them dikes. Basically all they do is just cut copper wire or cut different types of wire. Okay, this is going to get you in a tight spot where you can't use these wire strippers. Okay, these wire strippers are good if you're just stripping wire and want to cut through a wire. You can do this, but if you're in a tight spot, you're not going to be able to get that thing in there to cut that wire. So you're going to need a pair of these diagonal cutters to be able to get in there in those tight spots and be able to clip those wires out of there. Okay, this is basically a heavy-duty pair of clines, or lineman's pliers is what they're called. Okay, these are going to be good for cutting a little bit heavier duty wire. It's also going to be, you can also use them for bending metal, bending sheet metal, bending plugs. There's a couple of different applications you can use for these, but it's always good to have a good heavy duty pair of clines in your electrical box. Another thing you're definitely going to need, you're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers. These have a pair of wire cutters. You can actually cut wire with these as well. But you're actually going to need this needle nose for tight spots, for bending wire when you're getting ready to attach wires to plugs or switches. You're going to need these to go ahead and just give you that little bend after you strip the wire. These are a necessity in there. Also, what you're going to need is you're either going to need a Phillips or a flathead. I prefer one of these little 5-in-1s. And what it is actually 5 tools in one. It's gonna give you a number 1 flathead screwdriver, a number 1 Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, it's also actually a nut driver. Once you remove the bit, you've got a nut driver there. Okay, and then you can also remove it, and you've got the same thing on the other side, except for this is a little bit bigger flathead and a little bit bigger Phillips. Okay. And this is a good thing to have because it's going to give you all the different flatheads and Phillips screwdrivers that you're going to need for electrical work, and you won't have to carry around 5 different screwdrivers. You've got it all in one. And another thing you're going to need is a roll of electrical tape. This is a must in an electrician's toolbox. Okay, it's also handy to have is a couple of wire nuts. You never know when you're going to be needing to connect wire somewhere. And it's always good to have one of these instead of using just regular electrical tape to make your connections. You want to use, after you spliced your wire, you want to use your wire nuts first and then tape them up with electrical tape. You don't want to just connect 2 wires and wrap them up with tape. That's not going to work. You want to use your wire nuts. And this is just another pair of needle nose pliers. This is going to be for a little bit smaller type of wire that you may be doing some soldering, or a little bit less heavy duty electrical wire, but this is also just another type of needle nose pliers that you can use. And this is basically a basic way to outfit an electrician's toolbox.